which I didn't ever question Keisha's decision. Right. Even later in the week, I said, hey, if you decide to change your vote, I'm with you 100%. Right. I don't care either way. You let me know. I have your back 100%.
So you're talking about being approached by the 7 breaking off then sooner than we thought?
No. I was just approached by, because obviously before
I don't want to know names.
The way he approached me, right. He's after Jerry.
No, you don't have to explain your reasons why to me. You know what I mean?
But I just, like I said, I've been kind of approached by a couple of people that don't want Memphis to leave, and are kind of strong-arming me to go one way, and I don't. I'm like, I'm not playing. I don't know. It's just difficult. I just want your word, like you said, that you'll vote with the way I want.
That was original. When we brought in the 7, we said HOH.
Well, what I'm asking you is that if some people decide to go elsewhere with their vote, which I'll catch them because obviously it'll be apparent. Right. I have your word to go with what I decide to do, not what any of the other people decide to do, but what I decide to do.
That was the whole agreement with the 7. Why would it change now?
Why
would people get nervous now? We still have 3 more people to get out. This
is why I think
2 people to get out.
The only reason why I think they would do that is to basically they're looking out for themselves and they're looking at if we keep say Jesse around, then they would be a target the next week if Jesse were to win head of household. So if they're
and they're not a target of Memphis.
They're not a target of Memphis. So that's what it boils down to.
But yet I'm a target of Memphis, and Jerry is, and Jerry's the power veto winner, and I'm the head of household. But they don't give a shit about that. Right. They give a shit about themselves.
It's like selfish in a way.
Well, the thing is, it boils down to numbers. No matter, everyone's got someone coming after them.
And that's exactly what I said. I go, then you guys win head of household.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I told them. I was like, you know what? If you're so fearful, you hang up there for 3 hours like I did bring up Michelle, which Michelle could have easily put up any one of us 7, first of all. And don't tell me, I never once went to Keisha and said, this is who I want you to vote for. Never. Keisha decided on her own, And I never once went against her word. I said, if you want Jesse out, I'll vote Jesse out. If you want Angie out, I'll vote Angie out. Never once did I strong arm her, never came after her, never ganged up on her. Well, I'm more being ganged up on, which isn't fair to me.
No, and I understand it's your decision. Can I ask you what percentage of your final decision? Are you 100 or are you 90 right now?
Honestly, I want to keep this between us because I am going to pull everybody in the room. Right. But I'm voting Memphis out.
Right.
That's what I agree to. I'm not changing my decision because Jesse went after Libra and had a fight with her. That's not my problem. If Libra and Jesse are arguing in another room, that's not my problem. When Jesse attacked me last week, I could have went up to Keisha and said, I want Jesse out. You need to put Jesse out. Jesse attacked me.
Right. But the other thing is, too, and it's your prerogative, but I don't think you should get paranoid by them voicing concern. Now, if it's more than voicing concern, then, that's one thing. But, I'm
just hoping that the 7 stays intact, is what I'm really hoping. Because if someone, and like I said, I want to bring everybody in, and I want their opinions. I haven't, I'm not saying that, the decision isn't done now.
Right.
So I'll definitely listen to every single person in the group.
Right.
But going into this, like I said, I wanted Memphis out before I went head of household. It's not like I'm changing my vote all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is when we went through the line and everybody said, who do you want out? If you become head of household, I never once said I wanted Jesse. I said, I want Memphis out.
Right. And it's no different than last week. We all respected Keisha's, her wishes of wanting Angie out. And everyone...
No, and the thing is, I don't know what the conversations were, but, obviously paranoia runs rampant in this house, but if someone's voicing concern, I would just take it as that, as a concern and not like a mutiny,
I'm hoping so. And that's why I'm having you up here. Maybe you can calm me down a little bit.
But I can't speak from your spot. I haven't been in the spot where I'm making the call and I got to veto.
Yep. And so and I feel, Jerry and I talked, and Jerry did win power veto. Jerry could have easily taken the full 10 grand from me. And he didn't.
Right.
And Jerry came to me and said, I want Memphis out. We need to work together. And I said, you know what, that was already my decision going into this, before I went head of household. Jerry, I'm going to respect Jerry for not taking the 10 grand or the trip. Either.
Here's what Jerry didn't take the trip, he didn't take the 10 grand, and he didn't use it.
Exactly.
There's not much more you could ask that.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Jerry, I'm going to respect your way. Exactly his speech was, I'm respecting the head of household. She made the decisions. I'm respecting her. Right then, I got the utmost respect for Jerry. I pulled him aside and said, Jerry, what are you feeling right now? He's like, I would hope that you would respect my wishes on getting Memphis out. Okay, that was my decision from the get-go. I respect Jerry for winning power veto, not being selfish by any means. Still working for the 7. We both are working for the 7. We're doing everything we can to keep the 7 intact.
Right.
But yeah, I know it's paranoia, now that you say that. But it does suck when you're in this position. And I'm up here crying to Ollie or whoever it is because I have 2 of my alliance members coming and trying to strong-arm me because they feel threatened by somebody else.
Like, there were no threats, were there?
No, but what they were saying is that it's not fair if I vote Memphis out because that's only 1 versus 2 people after them. Jesse and Michelle. Versus Memphis.
Okay. Opposed to
just
Memphis.
And I said, well, that's not my problem. You know, I don't have... The only agreement I have right now is with Michelle. And besides my 7.
Right.
That's it. I still have never promised Jesse anything. I've never went to Jesse and said, if you don't vote for me next week, I won't put you out. Never once have I made that agreement with Jesse.
Oh, and you're talking about your initial agreement with Michelle?
That's the only thing.
Yeah, right, in the competition, the HOH.
And so, that was my agreement. And I said, and I was like, well, Jesse can still come after me next week.
Right.
But I don't know that for sure. Jesse and I haven't even talked yet since everything. But
I would see that as you and Jesse, I would make that clear whenever you meet with everyone that nothing's been established because that would be the only thing that would cause people to break from the 7. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Do you hear a lot of that right now?
No, but that makes sense. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But and I didn't. But I was telling Ollie, I said, when I was up there.
But it doesn't matter if you didn't because even as a HOH, as long as it's, is that really out of your realm to do that? I don't know.
Right.
It's not like you're saying, don't put me up and put up Dan and Alec.
And it's not fair that Keisha did it last week with Jesse. Mm-hmm. She went and made an agreement with Jesse. Even though she put him up, she still said, next week if you and head of household, you can't put me up. She made it with every single person in the house. But yet I can't do it on my head of household, and yet I haven't. Mm-hmm. But I can't do it, but she can.
But I know, and I can see you're getting fired up, but I would definitely address that when everyone, because we have not met in at least 2 or 3 days.
Right.
So I definitely would.
I say we should meet tonight.
Whatever everyone has concerns of, I'd get that out in the open, and if it leads to yelling and screaming, then so be it.
Get it out of the way.
But I just wanted to see where you are coming from, and I know that obviously, you're down there a lot more than I am, or even Ollie is at this point, and and you would never have to tell us anything anyway.
No, but I mean,
make sure that.
Libra, please put on your microphone.
No, but I can't exactly relate, but I could see why you'd be paranoid. You know what I mean?
I just feel like I was kind of bombarded when I never once went to Keisha and said, hey, this is the way I want it to go. And I'm like, why is it all of a sudden me when I'm still doing the best for the 7?
No, I know, and the thing that you might not want to hear, but you might have taken consideration, if it's a majority of the 7 that are coming this way, although it's not their call, you know what I mean? It's like, do you keep the group happy?
Absolutely not. I'm playing this game for me.
I know. Then
Memphis is coming after me. I didn't hang up there to protect Libra and Keisha. Right. I didn't do that. Right. I hung up there to protect myself.
Right.
And so I'm like, if they really wanted it that bad, they could have stayed up there for 3 hours. I didn't tell them not to.
Then where do you see the majority falling right now with this vote? Like, say if it was up to the group.
Under my impression, I didn't even know there was any dissension. At this
and they
point.
still might not be. It still might be an 8-0, or I don't know how it's going to go, or it still might be a majority vote. But they are close to Memphis. Mm-hmm. I'm not.
I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy hanging out with them.
Oh, it's nothing that's even.
And he does too.
Yeah, I do. I enjoy hanging out with him.
But it's like I don't. Memphis has never once came up to me and said, "Hey, let's make a deal. If you don't put me out of the house, I'm not going to put you up." So I know he's still coming after me. He's never once came up and talked to me. So and he's probably a man of his word, and that's probably why he's not coming up and saying anything to me.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing with him is I don't know if he's the type of person, because he told me he wasn't going to campaign directly against Jesse. So I don't know if that would be, what he considers.
Yeah.
Just like when I was up, I wanted to stay really bad, but I wasn't going to put Steven down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's just such a difficult position right now to be in. and I haven't talked to anybody, you know. I've been really quiet.
And that's the thing that's concerned me a little bit is I haven't seen you a ton, and